a town you never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
Welcome back to Common Folk.
That's right, taking the show back on the road.
That's right, on the road. What's going on this morning?
We're in quite the place. I've only been here a couple of times, so every time I'm amazed. These are things that are in our barn on our farm right now, so we should have you out and check it out.
I can do that.
See what you want to get out of there.
Folks, definitely need to check this out on YouTube because this is definitely the most picturesque studio we've been in.
By far.
For sure.
There's a lot going on here.
There is.
Tell them where we're at, Andy.
Well, where are we? I don't want to get it wrong. The Pulley Museum.
Yep.
Okay. In the Haymarket.
Yep.
Haymarket area of downtown Crofton, Nebraska.
We're soaking in all things Crofton the last couple of days. We've got some coffee here from the shop on 2nd.
Okay.
Shout out to them. It's pretty good. We stayed at the, what was it called? The Bobcat.
Yeah, the Bobcat.
The Bobcat Loft.
Nice.
With Heidi's family.
Okay.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're the king of free shout-outs, so let's keep the ball rolling here. I was at the Lewis and Clark Lodge. Across the street there was the Mini Mart, and they have my favorite coffee, the Jamaican Me Crazy.
Yeah.
So I had to go get a half tank of gas.
I don't know anything about this coffee.
Uh-huh.
It's like a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
is.
Just in this town?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you can get Jamaican Me Crazy a lot of places.
Oh,
This is the only places I know.
oh wow.
So,
Okay.
It's a
Got a
thing
little
when
hint
I'm-
of flavor. It's
it
pretty
does.
good.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
spicy? Just a little.
No, it's more of a, what is it, a caramely, what do they call it?
Here's 24 ounces, Morgan.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
Let me try this and I'll let you know.
But yeah, when I'm running down Highway 12, getting back home to our ranch, I always make it a point to stop in Crofton there and get
Am I
it.
going to get burnt?
You got to get that coffee, you know.
I
Oh
do.
my gosh, it's so hot, Andy. I'm going to get burnt.
But, I don't know.
Give me a second.
I had a croissant sandwich from that place this morning. It was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, the Mini Mart.
And they might not want you to mention this, but Morgan had the pizza, and they are pretty similar to Casey's.
Oh, really? Well, that's a good thing, I think.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
They might have stole the recipe. I don't know, but it was really good.
It's the
So
highest.
enough about the town.
Yeah, so we're with Doug and Juliet DeShazer. Welcome.
It's good to be
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for coming on. So tell us a little bit about you guys as far as first, let's start with this Pulley Museum. What is this about? What do you guys do here?
here. Well, it's a collection of antique hay trolleys and pulleys from all across the country, from California to New York. And I started collecting.
Don't forget Canada.
Oh yeah, Canada.
The
20 years ago.
The 51st state.
Yeah.
Right?
About to be.
Come on, get it right.
So it's just a collection of hay trolleys, pulleys to save and preserve the history of this type of farming that is long gone. Most people don't even know what this stuff is.
For sure. Is it is this like the only one in the country or what?
It is the only one in the country you can visit.
Yeah.
No,
wild.
I didn't
Yep.
know that.
Yep.
Really?
I have several friends who have large collections, but you can't visit them. You'd never know they were there.
Yeah.
So then why do they want them if they don't want to show them? They just like to collect
They
it.
just like to collect, yeah.
But
It's
you
a disease.
enjoy, it's a disease.
It is.
But you enjoy seeing people see the joy.
Oh,
Of all
absolutely, yeah.
this.
It's
Okay.
If you can't share it to me, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
So I love to share it with everybody. We give tours year round. We're coming into our busy season now where all the vacationers up here will visit, call me daily, weekly, and we give tours all the time.
Can you get away from the guys that also have, we call it the disease, or what did you call it?
It's a
The disease.
Yeah, or they'll see, oh, there's a porter, I know that, and then they'll be making you an offer. So
Oh,
is
yeah.
that like a daily thing for you?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah. You get calls all the time.
We got into baseball cards when we were really little, and that consumed so much time of recess. Recess time would go out and I'll bust out our collections, and boy, those are some heated
Yeah, they are. It gets
discussions.
pretty bad
and-
sometimes.
yeah, I bet.
So speaking of diseases, when I first started collecting probably 18 years ago, I went and visited a guy who had these, he tore down barns, so he had them laying everywhere. And his wife was with him, so I was by myself and with another gal. And I started looking around, and she says, wait a minute. I see it in his eyes. He's got the disease.
Oh boy, she saw it right away.
Yeah, she did. It was hilarious. Oh, so that's the
When
ongoing
did your
thing.
disease start? Like
About
at what age?
5.
I collected matchbooks, stamps, Hot Wheels, everything you can think of as a kid. I
Business
collected
cards.
business cards. I had thousands of business cards.
My goodness.
Okay, so
Everything.
you knew this coming into this relationship.
Well, you know, on our first date, when he said, I'm building a Pulley museum, I said, what? What? But yeah, so I guess I did know it going in. And then when we moved to Crofton and the collection, exceeded the Pulley museum that he had built and was hanging everywhere in our house, on our porch, in our bedroom.
True that.
Then he said, I think I'm going to buy a building in town. So, yeah, he had to come up with a business reason to buy a building just to put all his collection in. So
Okay.
then it became an event center.
Wait, this is an event center?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, everything is.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right.
Yes.
So, how many pieces do you think you have in here?
Several thousand.
Yeah.
There's almost 500 different trolleys, and they're all different. And then there's several thousand pieces and parts of the trolley system, we call it. Pulleys and hangers and you name it. We finally got everything out of the basement, so it's almost everything is finally installed and up. So that took a long time.
Is it all like cataloged or?
I have photos of everything.
Yeah.
So that's my catalog, if you will.
Yep.
Yeah. So I carry it around with me when I'm shopping, and if I need something, I know if I need it or not.
See, there's a tag right behind you, Morgan. It says 107.
Oh, okay. Yep.
When the collection was smaller, he did actually have everything cataloged and carried them around in little miniature on a key ring.
Oh, yeah.
So that he would know what he had when he went out looking. Didn't want to buy duplicates.
Well, probably wanted to, but you didn't want him to.
But at this point, we would have had to carry binders around. So he stopped cataloging.
So that's fascinating. I do want to get into kind of the brainchild and how you guys brought all this together, but you're talking about your first date. So how did you guys meet?
He actually took a friend of mine out a few times that they had met online. And she said, this guy's pretty out there. I think you'd like him a lot more than I do. So that was pretty much how we met. Yeah.
That's how my parents met. So my dad actually took my aunt on the first date. And
Yes.
My dad's best buddy took my mom on the date. And they're like, I think we should trade here.
That's funny.
So,
that's funny.
yeah.
Is that like
Yeah.
a small town thing? Like I just imagine that as being kind of a small town thing where like you don't have a lot to choose from. So like
Yeah.
let me get there. So all the women are like they're like on the same team. They're like I know everyone needs a guy, but we don't have a lot of choices.
Right.
So she's like she meets him. Her buddy meets
Yeah.
Doug and is like, well, we can't let this. We caught this fish, but we
We
can't
got
let
him.
this fish go.
Yeah, we're not letting them go.
But I don't like this kind of fish.
Yeah. But my buddy over here, I'm pretty sure she'd be down with this one.
A form of catfishing? Is that what we're getting into?
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my parents were in Annapolis. Dad was stationed in Annapolis at the
Okay.
time. So
Yeah.
there's a few more fish.
Yeah.
We're
Well, and
originally
honestly,
from Omaha, so
yeah,
Okay.
we met in Omaha.
Right on.
We moved up here about 15 years ago,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
decided to raise the family here.
That's still a transition, just going from Omaha to Crofton or
Sure.
a
no,
small town
absolutely.
like this.
But it's a
you know.
good transition.
Yeah.
So,
But
But
how'd you guys
a little
decide
slower.
to come to Crofton, and why Crofton?
well, I built a cabin up here on the lake.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had other extended family or anything.
Well,
out
my
here.
folks also had a cabin up here. I've been coming up here since early 70s.
Okay, so it wasn't just like a
No.
throw a dart at the wall. Okay. Yeah.
Just got tired of Omaha and working and just
That's
came
easy
up
to
here.
do.
Yeah.
For folks who don't know, we're right on the Lewis and Clark. What do they call it? Do they
Lewis
call
and
it
Clark Lake.
Reservoir.
Lake?
Yeah.
Reservoir?
Reservoir.
Yeah.
With Gavin's
So-
Point Dam.
Gavin's Point Dam. So the river's dammed, and this is the big state-run lake.
Well, it's between South Dakota and Nebraska.
It's on the
right?
border,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they both have their parks and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then the Corps of Engineers has a few parks around here too.
Okay.
It's Corps run.
Yep.
Federally run.
Okay, yep.
But, other
Yeah, we're the last in the series of
All the dams.
is it 5 dams
Of dams.
along the Missouri River.
Missouri.
And this dam controls all the upper dams.
Yeah, okay, yep.
They-
So for folks further south, like down in Omaha and that, like every now and then, people down there will be bitching like, oh, they're not letting water out of the
Oh,
dam,
yeah.
or they're letting too much water out of the dam, or whatever.
It's all our
this
fault.
is the dam.
So
yeah.
we blame you.
Yes.
Right, yes.
We'd been blamed before.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to remember that.
Yeah, we're used to
blame
it.
Crofton. Okay.
Pretty much.
But that's
Or
awesome.
just blame Doug.
Yeah, blame Doug.
Do what I do.
But that's fantastic. Like, I'd rather be the person up in Crofton that the people from Omaha are bitching about,
Right.
rather than just being in Omaha and bitching about it. So,
We
just that alone.
love Omaha. I mean, for our Omaha listeners, it's great.
I know we sound like mean people. Then it's just we're in a small town too,
Right.
right? And you go to Omaha and there's too many cars.
Yep.
It's annoying.
Traffic
I don't
is-
know.
yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of concrete, that's for sure.
There is a lot of
And
concrete.
that's also a misconception for people outside of Nebraska or the Iowa area, thinking that it's just all countryside. No, Omaha, there's
Right.
plenty of concrete to fill whatever jollies you want as far as city living
No
goes.
doubt.
Yeah.
So you guys said you came here 15 years ago. Is that when you opened the place, or was it a few years after
A
that?
few years after that. This side, the museum side, I started probably 11 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe 12 years ago. It took 2 years to remodel this space. And so we probably opened it 10 years ago.
What was this
was
in
a
its history?
Restaurant.
It was a restaurant.
A steakhouse, pizza place, whatever.
Do you know what it was like originally when this was all built?
It was a meat market.
Okay.
A butcher shop, meat market.
Interesting.
Locker.
When we talked to the guys in O'Neill at Handlebend, wasn't that a butcher shop?
It was, yes.
Shaw Hammers.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I think it was just about everything for
Yeah.
a while. Like, it was something.
Yeah,
And then it was
it
something.
became a grocery store, and then
Yeah.
the restaurant, and kind of
Well-
went through the same paces.
Yeah, and even now it's a coffee shop. It's a
Right.
smelting
Yeah,
for
exactly.
copper.
We've been there.
Yeah,
It's a great little place.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of the same vibes in these places. What do you think? What's the furthest someone's come here that you're aware of?
Japan.
Wow,
Yep.
to come see the Pulleys? Holy cow!
They were traveling around and heard about it, and they were from Japan. We've had a lot of
I think
Canadians.
they might have been here in the country for another reason.
Well, that's true.
Well, yeah.
Just
No, Juliet, you're selling it short. No, they came from Japan
to here.
Yep. I bet.
We've had
poor person.
just about every state here.
Yeah.
Canada, Mexico. I think we had a couple from Korea one time. They were with family, came through the museum
somebody
traveling.
came to the show from Australia. Once.
Australia.
It's awesome.
Well, I would think you get I'm looking at the Porter, and that was obviously a big one.
Yep.
So wouldn't you get a lot of folks from Ottawa, Illinois, saying, "Hey, I remember when that plant was up and running. I remember," or we have a bunch of those, or
Well, I mean, people come through that are from some of these towns and stuff are made,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't. I don't know. It doesn't happen that often.
Okay.
It's pretty specific.
right.
So
But we did have, one of his favorite manufacturers was the original father of the hay carrier, William Loudon. He's from Fairfield, Iowa. And we actually did have, was it his grandson or great-grandson?
Well, wasn't it the secretary of the great grandson was here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice.
So Loudon manufactured all these things in this small little town in southeastern Iowa.
Yep. Southeast Iowa.
Wow.
And his family has actually been here.
Oh, that's so cool.
So
Yeah.
some descendants of that family, and they're redoing There's a little museum now to the manufacturer, the business over there.
Yeah.
And this descendant is kind of restoring everything. So,
So
one of
cool.
these days we're going to get over there.
Yeah,
and
we've
visit.
we've shipped a lot of Loudon things to him that we had extra, so he could put in his museum and stuff that he's looking for.
Is the hay pulley is that invented in the United States?
Fairfield, Iowa.
That's where they invented it.
That's where it came from. Yeah.
Okay.
The first one came out of there,
And then, about what year was that?
1868.
So then, at some point after that, did it make its way into other countries? Because I'm thinking about these people from Japan. Have they ever seen these before?
No, To my knowledge, there aren't any countries that used them.
Yeah.
Now there was a rumor that
I don't think
Germany
rice
used.
fields were as,
Yeah, because
I don't think it was as much work to put the rice up as it was there.
but they had to have had some kind of grass hay or something, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but they
they had
had-
livestock.
But they didn't have the large farms like we have.
Yeah.
You know, in those other countries like that, they were very small farms compared to ours. So they didn't have near as much hay, or they didn't need as much hay. I mean, our farms back in the day were small, but they had every animal they needed: cows, pigs, horses, donkeys, whatever. So they always had to have a lot of hay to put up.
Keep in mind, there's not as much land in Japan as there
a
is
lot more
in the
people.
country here.
Yeah, yeah. So it was something that was invented out of like scale.
Yeah, necessity, and made a lot less work for the person moving the hay. So it's the funny thing is, farmers that come in here that have used these, they always say, "Oh, I never want to use one of those again."
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Straight.
work,
Yeah.
but it was a lot easier than taking a pitchfork and moving the hay by hand.
Sure.
Well, and even how the barns were constructed, like you're talking about to scale, the hay loft. I mean,
correct.
people use that term and don't even think about it. These are up on the top level of the barn
Yep.
to grab it from the
Yep.
ground level, take it up to the hay loft,
Well, so that's what I was just thinking was people that don't know, which would be me, like how does this actually happen? Everyone is different, or like it hooks. Like, yeah, like
a
what-
little
what's-
visual I think you might recognize. So when you look at like a hay barn, and then way at the top of the barn you've got that door that's way up high.
Just like a tiny little door.
Yeah,
just
way up high. Yep.
flips
and
down.
then usually there's a rail sticking out of that door.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of these were used for, right?
Yep.
So you see these rails, you see how these things are riding on these rails. That rail would go outside the barn, out that door,
To where the wagon is.
and then they could pick the hay up with the pulley and then get it up in the upper level of the barn.
But is it being picked up by the rope that's around the hay, or just
go-
like stuck into the hay?
Well, there's a hay fork. They're hanging everywhere here. And eventually, I can show you how one of these actually work. We have a working model.
Okay,
do that.
I would like to see that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll show you how it works.
this sounds, but we have so many listeners that literally have no clue. They have to know what I know, which
Yeah.
is not much.
Yeah, no, the average person doesn't know. They don't know.
Why would you?
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
You don't.
okay. So that it used to not always be wrapped. Like, you know how they have this string
Oh,
or
no,
twine now?
this
They
is-
didn't have,
this
like,
is
Oh, you're
all
talking
loose
about
hay.
bales. This was
Bales.
all loose hay.
Loose
this
hay.
is all loose. Oh,
Yeah, bales
okay,
didn't
okay.
exist until early 1900s, 1910.
Okay, so you're poking it with this fork thing.
Yeah, forks.
I got
This
you.
is
Stick a fork in it.
Stick a fork in it, it's done.
yeah. And so once again, more terms coming out. Where do they come from? But this is taking a haystack from a wagon to making a
But
haystack
it's
up on top of the barn.
Around?
No,
it's all
just
a stack of hay.
Just like a
Just a
wad.
big flatbed wagon with hay piled on it.
And all this hay's got to be falling.
Well,
It's not all getting
No,
caught.
not every piece
There'd
is
be some- yeah,
going to
sure.
go up.
They
in
have
the-
some that gets left out or fall on the ground, but most of it goes up into the haymow.
It's like the extra fries in the bottom of the bag when you
Yep.
go through the drive-through. Then people get to graze on it a little bit, or the cattle do.
But this is what I love about this place and what I'm picking up from you two. You know, when you walk in to a place like this, you can't help but you go back in time. You start to envision it. Would you say that's where this really started? Not that you had a disease and you like to collect things, whether it's business cards or whatever, but you're a big history buff. I mean, obviously you have to be.
Yeah, I love history. I mean, I love all types of history, but the farming history just kind of struck me. This type of farming history.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about tractors or any of the other stuff, but this stuff, for whatever reason, really tricked my trigger. And
There's a real mechanical advantage
Right.
to these tools, and Doug is also very he's a contractor by trade, so the mechanical side of things is very intriguing to him.
Yeah.
But this was a huge back saver for the farmer.
Oh, I know.
yeah.
And you just think it's so simple. You're looking at it, but it was so revolutionary.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
very
just-
just like the calculator was, or
Yeah,
whatever. It's
yeah.
just amazing.
And then you think, there's thousands of these in here. They only made them for about 75 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how many of them were manufactured during that short period of history?
It shows you how vital it really was,
And then
how important
when they
it
went
was.
obsolete, when tractors became popular, it's like then everybody leaves them up in the barn.
Yeah.
The barn gets dilapidated, and you dig a hole and
Push it
push
in.
it over.
There
It's
you
gone.
go.
It's all
So-
gone.
I'm pretty sure ours is still just hanging there on that beam like that you're talking about.
It's a bird nest at that point.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, it is. I'd shoot pigeons out of it. So. Sure.
And kids would swing on them, in the barn.
I love the idea that it's inherently American.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Very much so.
That it's something that was invented here and used here and almost exclusively here, and you guys are keeping it alive. It brings a lot of pride into the piece.
It's being preserved in Crofton.
There had to be this many different manufacturers because they were very heavy. I mean, this is the late 1800s, and so people weren't traveling 100 miles to go buy one. So there were these little factories.
Very regional.
Very regional.
Yeah, a lot of these manufacturers are regional, so you have to travel to that part of the country to find those trolleys. So you can't find certain trolleys in Nebraska, that's for sure. You have to go to Ohio or Illinois or Michigan or Wisconsin.
For like a certain style or something
a
of
certain
it.
brand, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's a lot of traveling involved or networking with people.
So you mentioned the big one in Iowa. Was there a big one or two in Nebraska at the time?
That's the
Not
closest
really?
one to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was Iowa. Most of them were located in Ohio, Illinois, Indiana,
Yeah.
Michigan, Wisconsin, New York, Pennsylvania had some manufacturers.
Where was Myers?
Ohio, Ashland, Ohio. They were another really big one. So, but it's what's interesting is they made these tools, let's call it machine, and they're so decorative and ornate, and you never see this thing once it's up in the barn. You'll never know how beautiful they are because they're 40 feet in the air. So why they made them so cool looking, I don't understand that because you never get to see it.
Well, I think a lot of that goes back to something that we're missing today is that pride in your craftsmanship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you're doing that, you're making that by hand, and every single piece that comes out, you have some kind of tie to.
Right.
So at the time, that's what they were doing, and they wanted people to look at it and be like,
Yeah.
this is a great piece of work, not just a tool.
Right.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
And the character, and there's a marketing aspect to it too.
Absolutely.
Like if I'm looking at that one, that's all fancy and it has a couple extra wheels on it, I'm taking that over, maybe a plain Jane one over here. So, hey, there's so many different things that go into it. Regardless, like we can't get away from
No,
it.
it's definitely marketing.
Yeah.
Sitting on the counter, if it looks good, it's going to work good.
That's right.
There's no doubt.
Well, that's what makes me think, why were there so many? But you said it. It's just different manufacturers. And obviously they just kept getting better and better each
Just like
each
an
year.
automobile,
Right.
they come up with newer things to make an
Newer
automobile
model.
new model every year. Well, these manufacturers would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Better bearings or different size lifting wheels or whatever it was.
The very first hay trolleys were crap.
I bet.
They didn't work worth
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah.
And they were all wood. They were wood.
And so they
the old wood
eventually,
wheels,
continually got better and heavier and could lift more load. And then by the time that the hay slings and the bales came along, then they were these big, huge honking ones with 8
Right.
wheels, and they could
Lift
pick
1,000
up
pounds.
1,000
Okay.
pounds of hay.
Do you have the
American
last
too.
pulley that was made?
Last hay trolley, yes.
Or hay trolley,
Yeah.
sorry, that was.
First
you
one
do?
and last one.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. I
But
figured.
I'm still missing quite a few in the middle.
Doesn't look like it.
No, it
I
doesn't.
don't think so.
Do you really know how many you are missing?
Well, there's no way of knowing.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we just found, a buddy of mine found 2 last week that have never ever been discovered before.
What? So are you going to get one?
No.
Oh, sad. Did you see that puppy dog face?
Are
Yeah.
you just saying that because she's listening?
Trust me, it's out of our budget.
Oh, okay.
Let's get that tourism up here. Crofton,
Yeah.
Nebraska,
Yeah.
folks.
They can get pretty pricey when there's only 1 or 2 of them in the world.
The
So
rare
they
ones
can-
are very expensive.
But speaking about tours, so like how do you get people here? Obviously they know about it, but then like we were talking earlier, they just give you a call and they're like, hey, I'm coming in, I want a tour.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I'm as a contractor, self-employed, I can make time. So
Yeah.
it's pretty easy for me to pull off the jobs and come give tours. I do it all the time.
Okay.
I would rather do that than be working.
Yeah.
Right. I just didn't know if it was like
It's much more fun to
you
talk
sign
shop.
up online and you have to pick your time
No,
slot and
we-
all that stuff.
Right.
We
Like,
try to
it's-
do afternoon tours mostly. That way I can
Okay.
work the mornings till 1 or 2, and then that way when they come here, they can have a beer if they want a beer too, and do the tour and all that kind of stuff.
Right. So we need to talk about what else is in here next to this museum. There's a bar. Last night we had some yummy food.
The you guys called it the Haymarket, right?
Yep.
Yep, Crofton Haymarket.
Juliet will tell you more about that.
Let's hear it.
Well, so we bought this original museum and worked for a couple years remodeling it, getting everything set up. Started having some parties in here, but it was pretty limited the amount of people we could fit in here. The bar that was next door had been a bar in Crofton since 1934, and they finally shut down. And so it took us a couple years, but we worked with the owner and got her used to the idea that we were not going to demolish the history of it and do what we did in here. So we bought the place next door, kind of knocked through the wall, made it all one big area. But that place is 107 years old. So the bar over there, the ceramic tile floor, 107 years old. It was built in 1918.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, we've got a lot of backstory to the bar next door as well. So a lot of history over there, and we know the family of the guy that built it, and he's given us all kinds of photos that we've had enlarged and display over there on the wall. Tells the history of that whole place too. So it was the first building before this one was even built. And so then we decided to expand it. So we basically tripled our size. And
Was that space always been a bar since it started?
no, it started off as a general store.
Okay.
Cash market, they called it. They switched over to a cash market when the stock market crash happened. They no longer extended credit.
Nope. True
And
story.
so it
You
was
got
known
a sign
as
in
the,
our studio
Yeah,
of that.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was then known as the Schwartz Cash Market, but it was a general store and a meat market. Then over here, was the butcher side of things. So
The floor is super cool. It looks
is,
neat.
yeah. And
And the one side has the original tin ceiling in it too.
Okay.
Which is really cool.
Yep.
And the bar over there was moved up here in 1934 from Ponca, Nebraska, on wagons.
Wow, it's original bar, huh?
Yeah, and it came from Kansas. It's about an 1895 bar.
Wow.
So it was moved from Kansas to Ponca in 04, and then in 34 it was moved up here for the bar to open up.
Yeah, when you say '04, you're not talking about 2004.
I mean, 1904.
I mean, it makes sense, though. That's why it might have taken her a couple of years. Like,
Yes.
she was a little bit hesitant.
Oh, she was. She thought
Okay,
we'd
that makes
destroy the
sense.
place and whatever, but we love old things, antiques. So
Right, so why
it's-
would you?
Why would we take any of that out of there? Other
Right.
than it really smelled bad over there, so we had to clean.
Yeah,
the
we
place
had to
up.
clean about 70 years of smoke
Oh, yeah.
because they were still
And
smoking
pain?
in that place.
Well, is there pain? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. I don't want to say it was terrible, but it was pretty bad.
There was metal framing around the windows and doors. I thought it was black, but it's silver.
Oh, I just had that suit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, it's terrible.
there was
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
that much,
Yeah.
that many years of smoke, and so when I sprayed cleaner on it, and then it just ran down in black streaks, it was
It's like your
disgusting.
It's like your buddy's pickup truck that you always assume is brown, or
Right.
kind of a brownish, and then he goes to the car wash and it's like, oh, that's a green pickup truck.
Right,
Wow,
exactly.
Okay.
When you
Yes.
think about it, like there was probably a number of years of what it was they were actually smoking wasn't like today's cigarettes. So it was probably like
Yeah.
thick, real smoky,
Tobacco.
like tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was probably like hanging in the air.
No, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It took a lot of work, but we kind of made it how we wanted it, but left as much history as we could.
Yeah.
But it made it nicer.
Yeah, I
So,
just tried to really take it back to what it was. There was a drop
Yeah.
ceiling over on the side where the original tin is.
yeah, they covered that up.
They had covered that up, and so we found that and got it painted up and
All
fixed
those-
up the patio. It used to just be a
Used to-
gravel patio
Yeah,
back
it should be
there.
rock back there, just gravel, trees, junk. So it changed all that.
Nice.
It's a great patio now. When it's cleaned up ready for the season,
Yeah.
put a lot of flowers, everything out there. It's a great beer garden.
Well, you guys pack them in, especially during the damn race.
Oh, yeah.
When we were here last summer, and we'll
Yeah,
be
we
back.
forgot. Oh, yeah, we're here about the race. Aren't we?
Yeah. Speaking about this side of it,
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it, and it's just so well done. I hope a lot of our listeners get out here and get to experience it, or at least watch the YouTube video that we'll bring up. There has to be a design and how you guys put this together, because I'm just thinking when you give that tour, you can actually start with, well, here's the old ones, and then as you walk through it, you get to see that's what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at the innovation over the years and how that went from there's 2 wheels and it looks pretty bad, to over here where Ben was talking about with all the design and the features.
Yeah, usually we start in the bar side, what I call the bar side. That's where all the Loudon stuff is. So we introduce him to Loudon and show him his first one that's really rudimentary, up to the high-tech ones, let's call them. And then bring him onto this side and see all the manufacturers and rare ones or common ones or, stuff like that. So, and we have some videos now. People can usually start with a video now. Talks about William Loudon, how he created the hay trolley, what he did to create the hay trolley to make it a success. And then the video shows all the way through his whole life. And eventually he was one of the largest material handlers in the country.
Yeah.
Every one of his factories had Loudon, what they called monorails in it, to washing machines, cars, airplanes, everything you can think of had Loudon monorails in them. Loudon monorails were in every Boeing plant, every aircraft plant during World War II. They carried the atomic bombs around in the plant with Loudon monorails.
And
fascinating.
Would you say that all came about because he was a lazy bum and he didn't want to lift the hay up annually anymore?
Yeah, that lazy bum.
Yeah. Well, so he was kind of a frail guy, and he had to work the farm, and he was a little bit sickly in his younger age, and he said there's got to be a better way, and so he created this thing and took it around Loudon or Fairfield, Iowa, and told the farmers, if it doesn't make your job easier, you don't have to pay me for it. So he installed these things in multiple farms around there, came back in the fall, everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And Loudon Manufacturing was born.
Wow.
That's so fascinating. So what was considered his weakness, being a frail guy or sickly, he turned that into just,
His strength.
my goodness,
Yeah.
an empire.
Yeah, an empire. Oh, he was huge in the day. There was manufacturing plants all over the country.
So every time we come to Crofton or we talk about Crofton, we hear about this character, and it's Doug. People,
with him.
yeah. People talk about this all the time. So I wanted a little bit on this podcast to learn a little bit more about Doug as well. So we're going to keep talking about pulleys, but tell us a little bit about you. We've gone back, I don't know, 20 years or whatever. You guys said something about Omaha and that kind of stuff, but tell us a little bit about from the beginning. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Omaha.
Okay.
Yeah, born and raised, not born there, but raised there from 4 on, and just grew up in Omaha, go to school and everything else. And I was kind of obviously a collector at a young age. My mom owned an antique store at one time, so I'm sure I got the bug from her.
Yeah.
I'd go to her store all the time, and it was down in the old market. So I'd go to, when I was in school, I was at the antique store.
Yeah.
And
So this was like what year range?
that would have been probably in the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Where were
Because
you?
he's old.
Oh, jeez.
He is.
You said it.
He's old.
What? Where were you born? You said you weren't born in
Lincoln.
Omaha. Lincoln. Okay.
Yeah.
So, where did you go to school in Omaha?
Northwest High.
Northwest. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said your mom had an antique shop. What happened after that? So you went to school there. You went to high school there.
Yep, high school there, college there, UNO, college there.
UNO. Okay.
And
What'd you go to school for?
Engineering.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, but I never did. I went through 3 years of it and decided there's no way I could sit behind a desk. So then I opened my own business,
Yeah.
a construction business.
Okay.
In '88, I opened my own construction business.
In Omaha.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then just been a contractor ever since. 36, 7 years worth, whatever it is.
Because you're old.
I'm old.
And then, so you're doing contracting in Omaha, and you guys met in Omaha?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was how long ago? Because you guys said you moved here about 15 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
so
17 years.
17
okay.
years.
So just a couple of years you guys were
Yeah.
together in Omaha.
Yep. Then I just worked in Omaha and did a lot of restaurants, built a lot of restaurants, remodeled a lot of restaurants, got into breweries. I love beer. So I have good friends down in Omaha that own bars with beers, and I go down in Omaha still and help put on beer events, Oktoberfest or Bachfest and things like that. So it's
Nice.
and I still go to Omaha every now and then to do jobs for certain customers.
Yeah.
That's it. Mostly it's up here.
So that what kind of started the fire for you for like kind of entertaining and cooking and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I grew up working in a restaurant for 6 years.
Okay.
I'm a social bug, maybe, I don't know. But, oddly enough, when we first opened the museum side here, we just had like a grand opening to invite the public in, had beer to give away and all that kind of stuff. And one of the people there says, "Hey, can I rent this for a party?" And then the light bulb went off. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. let's do that. She go, well, can you cook for us too? Go, sure. Of course. So that's how it started. I mean, it was never intended to be an event center until that customer or person touring said, hey, can we rent it for a party?
Yep.
And then
the remodel continued, and we put a kitchen in, and we just continues to morph.
Yeah. That's awesome. So it was just totally by chance it became an event center.
Have you, and we always hear about like the cooking that you do and those kinds of things. Have you always done that or recently found a love for that or what's that?
No, I've always cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, always cooked. So just my folks were cookers. I mean, they were very good cookers and just I learned from them, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what you guys have in common then.
Yeah, I like cooking.
Ben
sure.
loves to cook, smoke meat.
Yeah, it's relaxing. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Do you cook then much?
No.
Me either. High five.
No, she doesn't know.
I used to, but I pretty much let him do that.
I did too, but then it was like, well, they like to do it. Let's just go for it.
You know, and the longer you don't cook, and then if he says, you know, I'm leaving town next week, what am I going to feed the kids?
Cereal.
Yeah. Let's go up to the bar and grill. So you kind of forget how to. So
Okay, so how many kids then do you guys have?
we have 2,
Okay.
a boy and a girl, and we have a grandson.
Oh, nice. So your grandparents. Are
Yep.
you called grandma and grandpa or
I'm umpa.
umpa? Now, what's that?
It's
Grandpa.
like grandpa without
Short.
the gur.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just didn't know if it was
Yeah.
like a different.
And I'm Emma. 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 I don't know.
Cute.
Whatever.
I've never heard those. You know, you always hear the Mimi,
guys.
Nana,
Yeah.
Nana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just all born out of him not being able to.
G's. Yep.
Geez.
Enunciate, gamma, all those fun things.
Yeah.
You did it right because I'm hearing this where grandparents are picking out their own nicknames. Like, no, you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
It comes down to the grandchild and what they call you.
Right.
That's how it goes.
We picked out his name though, but you know.
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's fair. So, it was your folks looking for a vacation, a getaway spot
Yep.
that really pulled your family up here to the Crofton area.
Correct, yeah.
Is that, how'd that go?
Well, they were from Wisconsin and Michigan, and everybody in Wisconsin has a cabin, right? And so they grew up that area. It was not uncommon for people to have cabins. And when they moved to Nebraska, they still kept going back to Wisconsin visiting. Then I think one of my dad's friends had a cabin up here at the lake, and we came up. We used to hang out here summers using their cabin.
Yeah.
Because they never used it. Well, then eventually Dad said, well, we'll buy a lot and build a house. So they built one in 75.
Yeah. And for people, even people in Nebraska, if they don't experience it, you don't believe it exists. It's just so beautiful. Like
It's awesome.
This is my favorite area in the world. You know, this Crofton, Lynch, Boyd County, Knox
Yeah.
County. I mean, this is it for me. I
It's
just love it.
beautiful to drive around and head west and stuff.
Did you come here, Andy, much growing up? Like,
And-
how far away is this from Lynch?
About an hour drive.
An hour,
But it's
okay.
the same type of river system. So,
Sure.
Okay.
So my cabin, if you will, was just 45-minute boat ride from here,
Okay,
depending if we're going up or down the river.
gotcha. Okay, because honestly, we have never been here till last year. Or had you?
When I was a kid, I mean, we'd have little trips up to the dam area here and there and do like some fishing stuff and things, but I don't really remember it that well. I was real young.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I missed out. Like my parents missed out on this gem out here. You know?
It's kind of funny they try and keep it a secret.
For those who are
what
here,
the
it's
heck?
okay.
Jeez.
But these guys are on a different boat now. They want to bring people in to experience the museum.
and which is nice is we have a lot of people that come to town just for the museum, and so they end up touring the whole area.
Yeah.
Or eating lunch at Walt's, or gasoline motels, and I think we're a pretty good draw for the community.
Yeah.
It's turned out that way. We certainly never expected that, but it really has turned out that way.
Absolutely. Same type of questions, Juliet, to you. What did you grow up in Omaha area?
Yes, I was born and raised in Omaha.
Okay. And where'd you go to school?
I went to Marion High School.
She's a Marion Ho.
Okay.
Oh, you did not.
He came with it.
Well, she was calling him old, so he's like,
Thank you.
it's in my back pocket. I got this.
Turnabout, I guess.
Were you excited to move to Crofton when that came about?
I really was.
Yeah.
My family, I grew up with, we had a cabin down in South Bend in between Omaha and Lincoln. And so that kind of hanging out at the lake and,
Yep.
and doing, just fun stuff on the weekends and
Yeah.
getting away from town.
Right.
For sure.
Was what we grew up loving. And so when we talked and our daughter was getting ready to start first grade, so we thought if she gets involved in too many things in Omaha, we won't be getting up to the cabin as often. So we just decided to take the plunge. He was self-employed, so
Well, and Crofton takes women's athletics very serious. I mean,
It
there are
does.
some awesome girls basketball,
Yep.
volleyball
Track.
teams, track.
Cross
Oh my
country is-
goodness, yeah.
and even wrestling now.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. You got some great coaches that care about the kids. The
Yeah.
community is just so good.
Yeah, it's a
Maybe
great
we should
school.
move.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, maybe we should just move
Where do
here.
you guys live?
We live down south of Plattsmouth. We're in, they call it the Conestoga School District.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, we like that.
Our youngest is in 8th grade, though, so we really can't move him anywhere right now.
See, that's the boat we didn't want
Yeah.
to be in.
Yeah. That's why we came up with what we did.
We do. I mean, we love it down there. It's small, but it's very different than here as
Yeah.
far as like the community and
Right.
stuff. Yeah, different setup. Good, but different.
Yeah, I
For
still
sure.
have family down in Omaha, and Doug still has
Yep.
family down in Omaha. But now we just like to visit there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
bet,
get we
yeah.
get
Yeah.
to come home.
I was gonna say you totally got to flip the script. You
Yeah,
said
totally.
we like to get away and go, and then no, it's like now this is my life. This
Yeah.
is my lifestyle
It is.
on the lake.
Well, when you go back to Omaha, it's fun because you can go to the restaurants you used to go to that you liked, and that's a treat.
yes,
Or visit the zoo or whatever.
Sure.
You know, when you live
Yep.
in Omaha, you don't visit the zoo.
Yeah.
But when you don't live there and you go to Omaha, you visit the zoo. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
or even the old market.
Old market, yeah.
Who goes down to the old market unless you're there to visit?
Right,
You know,
exactly.
bringing people in.
Heck, even just going shopping.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
There's nowhere to really shop in the area.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the dam race. That's what kind of brought us all together and brought us up here. What's your guys' connection with that?
Well, we host the after party for the dam race, and the actual finish line is outside our front door. So we close the streets, set up tents, picnic tables, everything, and put on a great after party as people are crossing the finish line. We feed them beers, margaritas, whatever they want. We do special Bloody Marys that day for everybody. We sell about 150 Bloody Marys.
Nice.
And we just have a nice after party with music and everything, and
Awards, the whole awards.
everything is here. Yeah, it's
The finish line is right in front of our place.
and so it's the feedback from all the people there is it's the best finish line party of all the races they ever go to, and I think it keeps them coming back.
Yeah.
And we make really good fresh food.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
of they go there and it's a cold sandwich that's been sitting in the warmer for
Right.
the sandwiches are old whatever. They love coming back here for the food and the final party.
Yeah.
So our job is to help put that party on. We put the party on. We help with other aspects of the race, but my main goal or our main function is to make sure everybody's happy at the after party and
So-
at the final line.
Was that a deal where someone just came out of the blue and like, could you do this for us? And you're like, oh yeah, we got the setup for you. We're ready to go.
Well, when we first started, Heidi contacted us, and we kind of jumped on board with her, and so we've been helping plan it. And
Yeah. The original impetus behind the race was how do we connect the state park to the town? And so that was really where it was going. So
Yeah.
the school principal and Heidi kind of teamed up with the Game and Parks.
Yeah.
And so they came up with this idea.
Yep.
So they have those first couple events out at the state park, and then they get on their bikes and come all the way to town.
Or
So-
run here, yeah.
Or some of the half marathoners, they'll run crazy.
Yeah, not
people.
me. No.
Nope, they're crazy.
But how long has this dam race been going? What year is this
This
now?
is our Heidi.
Oh, she stepped out.
I think our 8th year.
8th or 9th, yeah.
Okay, but
yeah.
it keeps growing, right? Did
Well,
I
I
hear
think
that
we
you
s-
guys are already?
Yeah, we
have a lot
started
of
like with
time?
60 people the first time, and now we're up to, last year was 300.
315.
And-
Okay.
And this year we're on record to break that significantly. So
So do you think there's like I guess she would know, like a max? Because let's tell people it's not a typical triathlon.
No.
You do the kayaking.
Yep.
Right.
And then running and biking,
Yes.
which is pretty cool because not everybody wants to swim.
Right.
Let's be honest. Is that safer though too? Why did they choose not to swim? Because I feel like it could have been easier rather than hauling all these kayaks.
Well, I think they just wanted something to be different. I think.
Okay,
you
yeah,
know.
and I love it, and that drew a couple people that we know doing it.
yeah.
because they didn't.
Yeah.
they don't really know how to swim.
Right.
Swim. They're not strong swimmers.
Right.
So yeah.
And the park had all the kayaks and
Yeah.
canoes, so you can kind of showcase that side of things.
Yeah, they
These
bring
are-
in like
yeah.
80 kayaks from all the other state parks to help put this on.
Yeah. Ben
So-
was our kayaker last year.
I was just going back looking real quick. So May 16th of last year, so super close to today, we interviewed Heidi and spoke about the dam race. So if folks haven't heard that, rewind back to that one, an episode about a year ago, 50-ish episodes ago. Looks like season 3, episode 109. So you can hear a lot of details on that. But that's kind of what introduced us to all this.
Yeah.
And then we came up last year, got into the race. We did a team. Each one of us kind of took a leg. It was fun. We got to experience the after party.
Yep.
The chicken sandwiches were great.
Oh, yeah.
The Bloody Marys were great.
Oh yeah.
You guys had brought in that. I think they had recently taken it over, that brewery,
Yeah,
Patch?
Hard Patch, yeah.
Hard Patch. They came in. They had some beers that they were serving up, some different drinks and
Yeah,
stuff.
they're going to brew a special beer for the damn race this year.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know the name of it yet, but we're
Still figuring out a name, right?
so yeah, and then we're going to go down.
The damn best beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh, here
There
we
you
go.
go.
So we go down in June. Let's call it the board or whoever helps put the race on is going to go help brew the beer.
Cool.
So I've been talking with Jason about that, and so
Yeah.
sometime next month, 4 of us, 5 of us, whatever, go down and help them brew the beer. So we're kind of connected with it, and a little bit of media to go with that, and
Cool.
get people a little more excited about things. And
We're going to get to
Yeah.
meet them as well. We're going to do a podcast episode with them. So for folks who are listening, that'll be coming up in probably a couple of weeks.
So yeah, and a little fodder for that. You know, he was a funeral director.
Okay.
So he
We'll chat with him about
Used
that.
to
Andy's got
embalm
some
some people.
funeral history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked in the death care industry for 10, 12 years.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
that's
so
what it's
Jason
called, death
decided
care industry.
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
death care.
I got the lingo. I got the terminology.
I'll
down.
have to tell my daughter that. She's getting into that. She's going to school.
Well, then she must be a very caring type of person because it takes a special person that really does. I mean, you're catching people at a tough time, really
Right.
tough time, and to be able to handle the weight of that, keep it light. We've already had that podcast,
yeah, we've been through it, yeah.
but no, it's a certain type of person. So it doesn't surprise me that your daughter is very caring and loving. Because to even think of taking that on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get it, but apparently that's what
yeah.
she feels passionate about.
Yep.
So
You know, they say that there's 2 or 3 sure things in this life, and death
Yeah.
is one of them.
Yep.
So
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
that's not going out of business. Yeah,
What's the other ones?
death and taxes.
Oh, taxes.
and math,
You were gonna have to say something else.
math. I think
She's an accountant, so she likes math.
Okay.
numbers don't lie.
Well, so yeah, what do you do as your day job? Do you help this guy every day, and you're like dusting and cleaning and?
No.
He's laughing.
Come on,
That's a good one.
She don't cook. She don't clean.
I don't clean. No.
There's 2 things in this world that stay consistent.
Your love for me.
Yes, that was number 1.
Oh, the old. I thought a Marion High joke was coming back. I thought, oh boy, ouch.
So your day job, you do something with math.
Yes,
Okay.
I work for Explorers Credit Union
Okay.
in Yankton. We are one of the race's main sponsors as well.
Oh.
So yeah, we have a very outdoorsy brand. Explorers is the name of the credit
Yeah.
union.
Okay.
So it just really fits with our brand and things like that. We like to get behind and support the community, and that's what credit unions do is really
Right.
try to build up the community and help the people that can't get banking services elsewhere. So
And it's a pretty obvious investment in the community. If that's what you're trying to
For
sell,
sure.
that's what you're branding. Like you're bringing people from all over the nation
Yes.
to Crofton, to experience a state park. So yeah, I could see it would be Heidi probably helped you get there, but
you know.
I could see where that'd be good marketing.
She's pretty amazing, but she's not around to hear me compliment her.
So the race itself this year, it looks like it's July 26th. Anybody can sign up for it.
Yep.
You can sign up a team, so it's a triathlon. So it's 3 legs. You can have one person do each leg of the event, or you can do it yourself.
Yep.
You can compete. You can just have fun with it. I know that's what we did last year. We just had fun with it. We were not competing.
I didn't do any of it. I was coaching. I was our team's coach.
You were the coach.
So,
Yeah.
You were the smart one.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Yeah. You need guidance. You need somebody directing. So
Yeah.
that's what I did.
This year, I feel like we're more ready though. Like I think we're going to be towards the podium
for
this
sure.
year.
For sure. Yep.
Oh, right. Okay, we'll see.
Ben's got a new kayak. He's ready to go.
Yeah. Last year, not only did I not practice at all, I relied on somebody to bring me a life jacket that was, I think it was like a kid's medium.
It was squeezing you.
It was like, it was probably split like 5 inches from getting closed. I had the straps as tight as they would go. It was
Cute.
It was rough.
So cute.
It was constricting his lungs while he was trying to
He's dying out there.
Yeah. It was fun though. I would definitely encourage anybody to do it. I think anybody who thinks about these things like feels intimidated, like, oh, it's gonna be so hard, whatever. But it's not. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Everyone's there to support you.
And you do it at your own pace. I mean, you don't have to be.
100%. Yeah. Yep. And it goes to a good cause. So go back and listen to the episode that we did with Heidi last year, and you'll kind of hear why they do it, what the money's raised for, what it gets used for around here, those kinds of things, and it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun. So.
Again, that just goes back to, if we can get this trail connecting the state park to the town of Crofton, that's really where we're headed with this. So.
Yeah, cool piece for sure. If folks want to like sign up or learn more, it's Croftons with an S, DAM race.com. And then they're on social media as well.
Yep.
For you guys and the Pulley Museum and those kinds of things, can folks find more about this place online, on socials?
CroftonHaymarket.com.
Crofton Haymarket.
Or if you do any kind of search for pulleys, the Pulley Museum will show up.
Just Google Pulley's Crofton.
Yeah.
It's
just
coming
pulleys. It'll just Google pulleys, it'll pop up.
You got the corner on the word.
I think I do.
Yeah.
Pretty sure his picture pops up too.
Now everybody knows what Doug looks like.
So it's easy to find us at CroftonHaymarket.com or just search pulleys or something like that. It always pops up.
Cool. When you guys were thinking about doing this today and kind of all the things that we were going to cover, is there anything that you were hoping we would ask that we haven't yet, or anything you'd like to talk about as far as any of this goes, or your guys' involvement or anything?
No, I'm okay, I think. It was nice sitting here hanging out and stuff.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
You
fun.
gotta show me though how this thing works.
Oh yeah, we'll show you.
Are you
Okay.
sure you don't want to, put a little ad out there, hay carriers for sale?
Oh sure.
Oh yeah, come on.
Yeah, any farmers out there that have a barn that want me to go through their barn, I'd love to do it.
No.
Oh, he was thinking the
We're
other way.
selling them.
Oh no, we're not selling.
He's like,
They're all for sale.
I love that.
yeah. She's like, can we get rid of some of these things? And he's
take
automatically
more.
thinking, yeah, we can get more. Sure. Yeah.
Well, I just got back from Wisconsin last week. We went 4 days in Wisconsin touring parts of Wisconsin looking for trolleys. Drove a lot, 4 days worth, and it was a lot of fun.
100%. I mean, if anybody who's listening, because I guarantee there's people who are listening that know
Yeah, right.
of an old barn out
Yep.
at the family farm or whatever, let us know, and we'll put you in touch with these two. And I'm sure Juliet would be more than happy to come out and dig
Yep,
through your barn.
Yeah, I'll crawl right up there.
Do some
Grab it.
cleaning.
Yeah,
do some
I'll dust
cooking.
while I'm up there. Yeah, you bet.
Exactly.
She was a little.
Cook some food too.
Yeah, I might whip up a little breakfast while I'm there.
She was a little leery driving around me when we first started meeting or first met, and we'd go on little road trips looking for stuff, right? And she'd come with me going, why are we going there again? I said, well, you never know. You might find something good.
That's true. That's true.
It's about the hunt.
We were only dating a couple months, and he says, "Do you want to go to a hay trolley convention?"
Of course. Duh.
True story.
And honestly, my answer was, "I've never done that before. Sure, why not?" So off we went, and the smell of rust filled the car. It smelled like a high school science experiment.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That's good.
This is great. Yeah. I mean, you just keep looking around and something new catches my eye every time.
Lot to see.
Yeah. And the way, I don't know. I was like, what?
That's
See,
just-
and you wouldn't
done so
know
well.
if there was like 50 less in here. Like,
No, I
To the
I personally
untrained
would
eye.
not.
I would know.
But if one is out of place, it's like your art closets or, you
Well-
know what I mean? Shoes or something like that.
you know, he'd like to retire at some point. So if he could quit buying these and start selling them, I keep telling him that's his retirement plan.
I noticed the evolution of the term. It went from disease to bug, so it's just a bug. So I did notice that through our conversation.
That was nice. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So, Andy, after this, Morgan wants to see one work. Maybe you'll take a little video of it. We'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, let's do it.
Folks can kind of check how that works.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys very much. It's great to speak with you and finally kind of get up to speed on what's been going on out here because we've been hearing about all the little legends and all this for a while. So
Yeah.
it's pretty neat.
No, I appreciate you guys are here. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
We're
for
looking
coming.
forward to the race this year and coming
Heck
back in July. So
Heck yeah.
Are you cooking chicken again or
Well, it
what's the
seems-
menu?
Well, everybody seems to like it.
It's so good.
I mean-
I say do it again.
I mean, we'll probably do it again.
okay.
I mean,
But I mean, I'm not in charge.
I try to offer other options, but people always say, "Oh no, the chicken's too good." So we'll probably do chicken again.
Let's go.
heck yeah, heck yeah. I got to try some of that brisket too. I wish we were here later. What you're running today? It's smelling pretty good.
Yeah. it'll
Well,
be
what
good.
are you serving us for lunch?
Oh, you're getting wood-fired pizzas. For
Oh,
lunch today.
snap. There we
All
go.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
The
about.
Napolitana style pizzas that are cooked in an oven that are 1,000 degrees.
Oh, yes,
So
sir.
that's your lunch today. So
Yeah, that's on the patio too, the pizza oven.
Sweet.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna have a lot of
Because
videos
we
coming
just don't
out.
have enough to do.
I knew we came here for a reason.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, if nothing else, I'm going to shut it down. You guys got anything? No. All right. Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so
All
much.
right. We'll see you.